So I vote ANC. You like Ramaphosa? No, I just want a grant. But then someone else interprets it as 40% of South Africans say Ramaphosa must keep going. It's like, no, that's not what they voted for.
Yeah.
They voted for whatever else. They voted because their aunt is an ANC member and works for municipality. They voted because their brother is a tenderpreneur and got a tender through the ANC. They didn't vote because they like Cyril. The ANC had no choice. How do you get angry after 17% drop said you? Everyone is meant to vacate, not just Cyril. They meant to, out of some level of integrity, self-respect. Maybe not even integrity. You're a politician. You're rotten anyways. You're fraud. But just out of some level of self-respect to be like, hey, bro, when we go vote, number one, we do not have a quorum to say of the 40 million people that are meant to vote, at least 50% must vote for it to be legit democracy. When you've got under 20 million people voting and you call it a democracy and we celebrate, you are lying to everyone, number one. And this has been happening and it's okay. Number two, when the people that are voting that you call a democratic vote do not understand what they are doing, again, you are lying. There were people, many that arrived on the day and didn't know what the 3 ballot papers were. The IEC, with over 2 billion rand in funding, failed to educate voters on the 3 ballot papers. People like myself who are not given 5 rand by the IEC or a political party or some rich person to say, Pen, here's 50 bucks, please go. No one gave me money. We went out of our own to go and educate people on TikTok, on YouTube, to be like, guys, just so that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
People didn't know what they were doing. They were just putting crosses next to anything. People don't know what elections mean. And people vote not understanding the gravity of their decision. So I vote ANC. You like Ramaphosa? No, I just want a grant. But then someone else interprets it as 40% of South Africans say Ramaphosa must keep going. It's like, no, that's not what they voted for.
Yeah.
They voted for whatever else. They voted because their aunt is an ANC member and works for municipality. They voted because their brother is a tenderpreneur and got a tender through the ANC. They didn't vote because they like Cyril or Fikile Mbalula or anyone else, Pravin Gordhan.
It's a very good point.
So it speaks to the political illiteracy and it also speaks to this rubbish voting system that we have. And it's not South African, it's global. It's rubbish. That Bobby has certain views on healthcare, different views on sports, different views on the economy, but then is as intelligent, as diverse, as much tax as he pays, is forced to put a cross like a little creche child on one party, which means if you choose this party, you hate everyone else, which is nonsense. And it's actually disrespectful to human beings that have a bit of a brain. But we're here now until whoever runs the world decides on another model. And in that voting in South Africa, at least, the ANC was sent a message by the people that did decide to vote.
Yeah.
From 57.5% to 40.1%. It's over 17% drop.
It's huge.
The idea that the ANC was peaceful, and I hear a lot of people saying it, and I think it's mainstream media propaganda. To be honest, I almost want to say, like, the ANC had no choice. How do you get angry after 17% drop said you? Everyone is meant to vacate, not just Cyril. They meant to, out of some level of integrity, self-respect. Maybe not even integrity. You're a politician. You're rotten anyways. You're fraud. But just out of some level of self-respect to be like, hey, bro, I was working for this company. I joined Bobby at Midmac. And after we joined for like 6 months or 2 years, hey, we up sales.
Yeah.
We actually shit up and we lost business to, out of respect, Bobby, I'd like to leave. I think we're fucking shit up. But these guys have zero self-respect, number one. Of course, many of them have no real skills. So if they leave politics, no one's going to hire them. Boy Mamabulo went on famously because I think he was removed on the parliamentary list for the ANC to say he can't be removed because he's got nowhere else to go. And it's like, how dare you? You're literally telling us you're not here to serve people. You only want to be there to earn a salary.
Yeah.
And if you can't go anywhere else, how useless actually are you?
Yes.
And then it went back to me to be like, the reason we have all of this is because fundamentally, this country doesn't even belong to us. And the people that own this country, the big business people, the West, they don't really have an issue with what's happening here. The screens went off for 2 hours, number one. Number two, there were maybe over 19 political parties that said they believe there was election fraud. Nothing has been done of that. Where you're like, okay, let's hear what you have to say. It's how the processes work. It's like we've got a so-called great constitution that speaks about certain things. And when a president breaks their fiduciary duties and is found with foreign currency, which is a crime, a legal violation, you can't be vague and blurry and abstract and the SARB is like, no, we found no wrong. It's wrong. Again, self-respect, you move out of the way. But it doesn't happen. And this is not just Cyril. We've had similar things with Zuma, who would think Andla was like, it wasn't me. It's your house. You're the president. The accountability has to end with you. And Thuli Madonsela, who became a hero as a public protector, slap on the wrist.
That's all.
The little bit of money he had to pay was nothing compared to how much money was looted. And we don't know, because Zuma might be like, I didn't benefit. We don't know how much of that money with the people that ended up getting it ends up becoming funding for MK later on.
Yeah.
We don't know. But we love Msholozi, I love Zuma. So we let it slide. And so on and so forth. We get the results. Cyril is not removed. And any little bit of respect I had for the ANC is completely gone from me. I don't care who comes in after. Bring in Paul Mashatile, bring in Fikile Mbalula, bring in Gwede Mantashe, bring in any clown you want. But the clown that lost you 17% of the votes has to go. It's he can stay as an advisor, he can remain a member, he can be anything.
When does he have to go? At what point?
As soon as the results are confirmed.
Then
He has to go. This is me,
okay,
right? This is not me saying they should have, but it's me watching, because if Trump, which is what happened with the last elections when Biden won, if Trump loses, he can get angry and kick and scream. He has to go. It can't be like, look, let him be president for 6 more months while he has to go. The guy lost. Trump was fighting and he was like, there was this and that, but he has to go. Out of self-respect, he should have also left because it's embarrassing. Anyways. So we have that situation. The DA sees it as a great opportunity. Kudos to them. They are also hypocrites because they let go of Musi Maimane for, I think he lost 2-3% for the DA. John Steenhuisen kind of keeps it the same at that level, but no one says anything about him. But I've come to learn that the DA are hypocrites, opportunists, and most importantly, they are also just politicians, right? They see an opportunity, and kudos to Helen Zille. She's been doing phenomenally well with the whole negotiating and hitting the ANC where they are weak, to a point where even with the Government of National Unity report, the ANC clumsily, which is now proven, they don't read these things and they don't understand them. Where they want to negotiate certain things, it's like, that's not what we agreed on. And at any given time, the DA can actually get rid of Cyril if they want.
If they want.
It's there in the document. They've got their loopholes that the ANC didn't close.
But I've got a question on that.
Go for it.
If just came to me now. If you are in a position of, okay, we've got a 4-year or 8-year plan, and the plan is to make this party look bad on a long-term level, do you get rid of him if you know that he's weak and he's indecisive and he's trying to please everybody? Or do you keep him there and tarnish the reputation even more until it's so evident that it already almost is, but it's so evident that people are going to be almost repelled by the level of incompetency that goes on? So are they keeping him there if your claim is true that they can remove him at any time? Are they keeping him there because he's a weak leader so that he continuously makes the ANC weaker?
They keep him there because Cyril is kind of aligned to DA ideologies. They like him. Even
They like
before the
him.
elections, John Steenhuisen had said, if the ANC goes with Paul Mashatile, they can't work with them. It was at the time when we called out hypocrisy. The DA went and led a moonshot pact, which was the multi-party charter, to get rid of the ANC. And then just before the election, they were like, look, if Cyril is going to be head of the ANC and they go under 50, we might be willing to work with them. And my first thing was, but you guys set up a whole thing to remove the ANC.
Okay. So
And after the elections, this was their number one chance to be like everything we had been gunning for. That's why Action SA refused to be part of the GNU. They said, but you guys said we're getting rid of the ANC and you're going back to work with them, which is kind of spitting on the DA voters and everyone else in the multi-party charter that you're convinced if you vote for us, we will do whatever we can to get rid of the ANC. And now you guys are working with them. So they like Cyril. They prefer Cyril. They find him to be diplomatic, understanding, whatever the case may be, to a point where they're even currently defending him on the Phala Phala issue. They're saying unless there is new evidence and you know, they're not going to consider that as a thing.
Okay.
Kind of situation. So that's my frustration with the ANC, the DA. I've mentioned the Moonshot Pact and the sellout position.